While doing the heist mission with Jackie, if you go to Yorinobu's bedroom, you can find his signature gun on the nightstand. After having a chat with this big bastard, who had hands the size of Andre the Giant's, I was free to do some exploration. The first thing I noticed was these 4 arcade machines. Don't get too excited though. 3 of these don't work, only one of them does, which is one called Roach Race. It's basically a spoof of that one Chrome game you can play on your phone when the Wi-Fi is not working. The best thing this game has going for it is the soundtrack. Just listen. Sometimes this game can be weird as well. I mean, look at this mirror. Why is it all digital? What's wrong with having something so simple as glass for a mirror? I guess this is a pretty good idea though, because when the local drunks come in to take a piss, they won't be able to punch the glass. So I guess it's kind of a decent idea, when you think about it. I guess insults have changed as well in the year 2077. Does anyone know what a wannabe cookie cutter punk means? After leaving the bar, I wanted to check out the controls. A jumps and B crouches. Enough said. So simple. This is when you encounter this old guy called Padre. He sends you on this mission where you have to steal this nice fancy car from this rich guy's garage called the Raymond Erendite. Too bad I was looking forward to driving this car. You actually get caught by this guy called Jackie who points a gun in your face and tells you to get out. You actually become friends with him later on in the game, or rather a few moments after this mission finishes. I actually expected during this mission for Jackie to steal the car and to leave V hanging, but that doesn't actually happen. Both of them get caught by the coppers. This is where the game skips ahead 1 year, and you're hanging out with Jackie, doing various jobs and missions with him, I suppose. I don't know too much about it, because like some people I've heard, I ended up skipping the cutscene because I thought the game was giving me spoilers. After Jackie drops V off at his apartment, this will give players a chance to have a look at V's apartment. It's not very big, but hey, nice place. I wish I had one like this. After this, you encounter this guy called Dexter, and you discuss plans for the prototype mission, which is basically this metal spider thingamajig. After that, you've got 2 choices of where you can go. You can go to Lizzie's bar, but it's always closed at night time, so I ended up driving to Jackie to start the heist immediately. This gave me a chance to drive around a little bit, because Jackie was quite far away in town. Driving's not too bad in this game. It has been criticised by a bunch of people. It's okay, but if you ask me, GTA 5 will always have the best driving mechanic. You know one thing that really annoyed me about this game? It's that you had to hold B to get out of the car. To anyone who's used to the GTA games, you're automatically going to keep pressing Y a handful of times till you get used to the controls. When you and Jackie go in the building, you encounter this horrible gang who look like Terminators if they had 3 eyes. There's this one guy in the gang called Dum Dum. Yes, that's his actual name, Dum Dum. He demands that Jackie sits down, but Jackie's a badass and they both start arguing with each other. After you settle down Jackie and he sits down eventually, Dum Dum will show you the prototype. This thing looks creepy as hell, but it's pretty cool. It can actually go through vents and you eventually use this in the heist mission. Unfortunately, this eventually goes tits up when Royce the leader demands that V pays again for the prototype, after you've already paid once. If you refuse, V will shoot the leader, and you have to make your way out of the building with Jackie, shooting all the enemies that come in your way. After I did that, I was able to go into Lizzie's bar now. This game is notorious for being glitchy. The first glitch I encountered, I couldn't sit on the stool at the bar. There was no button option. There's also supposed to be a bartender here called Matteo, who you're supposed to talk to, but no one was there. So I had to start from my last save, which wasn't too annoying because I only just saved a few moments ago outside of the bar, and Matteo showed up. You go down to the basement, and a girl called Judy puts you on this weird thing called a brain dance. I don't know if it's some kind of simulation, but it's pretty cool being able to fast forward or move everything backwards. It's not a bad mission, but it can be frustrating at times. You have to scan Yorinobu's penthouse looking for cameras. They're actually not very easy to find. You basically need to know all of his security before you do this mission with Jackie. After that, V, Jackie and T-Bug meet up with Mark Henry to discuss the final plans for the heist. The heist mission actually ends up being successful. You and Jackie successfully get the safe open and steal Yorinobu's fragments. You eventually have to hide though behind his telly because he's aware of your presence. This is where Yorinobu strangles the Emperor. I always thought this was kind of a waste, not having the Emperor fight back. Sure, he was like 130 fucking years old, but seeing them have a fight in the penthouse would have been a very good opportunity, but they didn't do that. I'm very early in the game. I'd say I'm only about a quarter in, but out of all the missions I've played so far, this is the most decent one. You and Jackie escape by crashing through a glass ceiling, which turned out to be a pretty bad idea, but it was the only option. After escaping with Jackie, he bleeds to death in the back of the car, which is really shitty honestly, and kind of annoying. When you think about it, you the player has only known Jackie for like 5 minutes. V's known him an entire year. I feel like it was a missed opportunity to kill him off so soon. But obviously this is to get the hate factor rolling and really make you detest the baddies in the game. Speaking of baddies, Dexter betrays V and shoots him in the head, while he can get away because everyone's looking for V and Jackie because of the massive shit show they just pulled. After that, the game title shows up. The game title shows up. Let me remind you, I've been playing this for 6 hours. So after all that stuff you just did, the game finally starts, kind of. Now we've gone to the year 2023, which is the year we're currently in, and you play as this other character called Johnny Silverhand. It turns out that the big box of fragments was actually memories of Johnny Silverhand. V put them in his head, and he ends up experiencing memories of Johnny Silverhand. This is where the plot comes in, because eventually the fragments will overtake V's body and eventually kill him. I don't mind playing as another character though, at all. Johnny has this awesome gun which seems to kill everybody in one hit. Another thing that's annoying is you can't pause the game as well during a mission. Why? So I suggest hiding behind a table, just to be safe in case any enemies are still lurking about. After doing that mission, you go back to the current year, 2077. Luckily, V survived the gunshot and he was dumped in this junkyard. There's lots of cars to choose from in this game, but the one I felt like handled the best was the Mini. If you want, you can piss around and drive around in the subway, which is always fun to do. Every car is incredibly strong in this game as well. It can endure so much damage. I found myself just crashing on purpose just to see if the car would blow up, but it never happened. The only thing that stopped me at one point was my car got stuck under a billboard and I couldn't drive it anymore. I wasn't going to talk about this, but I will talk about the boss fights, particularly this one. This boss fight is just pure bullshit. This guy takes a ton of damage. Occasionally he disappears and his health goes all the way up again, which is so annoying in any game. Like, why does this have to happen? This guy is hard enough, but obviously his health has to go back up. I barely made it past this boss fight. All my ammo was completely gone, and I had to resort to hitting him in the face with my gun. You shouldn't have to do this. No one wants to do this. It's awful. Luckily I backed him in the corner, and that helped a little bit. But by some miracle, I managed to get past this fight. A little advice here. Before going into the Embers building, make sure you do the last side quest with Pam. The side quest will end with you telling her that you're dying, and she'll help you take down Arasaka Tower. This ending's a lot better than the other two endings. The final boss fight is Adam Smasher. This guy is so cruel, he just stomps on Saul's head like it's nothing, crushing it like a pumpkin. He calls people fucking meat for some reason. This is a weird saying he has. My guess is he's been a machine for so long, he doesn't value humanity at all. Lucky in the boss fight, I managed to blow off one of Adam Smasher's arms. This guy kind of just fires rockets all over the place, so you might want to watch out for that. Like, I'm not kidding, watch this. By the end of the boss fight, Adam's completely screwed. He's just immobile. He's lost both of his arms. He's on his knees. He can't even function properly. You load the gun and finish off Adam once and for all. The game ends with Panam and V escaping the border and moving to Arizona with a bunch of other people from the clan. This ending is actually quite hard to get, so I'm really glad I got this one. I am so happy to be done with this game. This review took weeks to do, and I'm just glad I'm done with it. I'll give this game an 8 out of 10. It's a very well made game. Loved it.